Hi, welcome to the Parents Math Tutor. I'm a Texas-based teacher with over 21 years of experience. The most common question I get every year from parents is that they don't understand how to do their child's math homework. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you and your child get better at math. It's like free math tutoring. Leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into the lesson. Hi parents, and welcome back to another episode of the Parents Math Tutor. We are moving on today to ordering numbers. If you need to know the standard that matches, you can look at the bottom of the screen. I have the TEKS and the Common Core standards listed there. In Texas, this is a skill that is specifically stated for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. Common Core, it's more just like a generic math skill, a math practice skill, knowing how to solve problems and use tools. But let's go ahead and get into what we know about ordering numbers. Ordering numbers is a skill that comes alongside comparing numbers. However, if your child struggles with comparing, they won't be able to order yet. In my comparing video, you noticed that we usually only compared two numbers to one another. When it comes to ordering numbers, we are giving them more numbers to compare, and then after they've compared them, they have to put them in order. So we're adding on a higher level thinking with how we ask them to order, because we can ask them to order from least to greatest, or we can ask them to order from greatest to least. So it's not always going to be from the smallest number to the biggest number. During ordering numbers, this is a really good time to introduce the number line, because a number line is an organizational tool that always goes from least to greatest. And so you can order the numbers by plotting them on a number line. And often when we ask kids to order numbers, it's embedded within a word problem. So now they have the skills of actually reading the problem, getting the numbers that they need out of the problem, and then solving the problem, which is a higher order thinking skill. Some of the vocabulary that you're going to have to use and your child is going to have to use when they're ordering numbers are listed on the screen. This is just a reminder that your kids must be able to hear the vocabulary words, understand what they mean, and they need to be able to use these words. So your child should be communicating their math thoughts out loud, explaining their thinking, telling you why they answered the way that they answered, telling you what words mean. They should be able to explain it. If they can't, they need to stay on that skill for a little bit longer. So some of the vocabulary that I thought of in association with ordering numbers are greatest to least and least to greatest, because these are going to be the most important words in the question that the kids see. Often in my classroom, the kids will see the word order in the question, please order these numbers. And then they get excited because they know how to order, and so they won't pay attention to what order it's supposed to be in, greatest to least or least to greatest. So that's an important thing to teach them, to pay attention to the details. Also, this is when we introduce an open number line. An open number line is a number line that does not have any numbers on it yet. And then we will place landmark numbers on that number line. Landmark numbers are the first number and the last number on the open number line. And then when you're writing numbers on a number line, you're going to have to draw tick marks. Those are those little dashes on a number line. And then, of course, we still are going to be comparing numbers to know which one comes next in the order. So comparison and place value are still important when we're talking about ordering numbers. It's always nice to know why the skill matters. So why does ordering numbers matter? Well, it helps kids with numerical relationships. The more they practice with bigger numbers and smaller numbers, they'll just be able to recognize those patterns and intervals in their brain without having concrete things in front of them. And that helps with logical thinking. So just as a problem solver for their whole life, we're building on their logic skills. This is a precursor to finding averages, medians, and data trends, which are useful in graphing. And those are skills that come in later grades. So if they master ordering numbers now, that will be easier when the time comes. And of course, in our real life, we order things all the time. We analyze data, we do our finances, just organizational skills. Just when you're organizing your own life, the skill of ordering numbers helps with all of those things. Okay, there's two different ways in my classroom that I teach ordering numbers. The first way is that the children are just given a set of numbers, just randomly placed numbers. Sometimes we generate it with a random number wheel on the internet, which is a fun way, an exciting way to generate your numbers, but sometimes they're just listed. And we just say, order the following numbers from greatest to least, or order the following numbers from least to greatest. So that's one way it's tested. But the other way that it could be tested is it could be embedded in a word problem. So for example, this one says, the school held a bake sale. They sold 65 chocolate chip cookies, 37 cupcakes, 56 donuts, and 34 cannolis. Put the number of baked items sold in order on an open number line. So notice on this one, it doesn't say greatest to least or least to greatest. That's because we're giving them the tool of the number line to respond on. And one of the things that they need to know is that all number lines go in order from least to greatest. I always point at the number line on my wall in my classroom, and we look that it starts at a 0, and in my classroom it goes to 100. So it's always going from least to greatest. So that's even another skill that they'd have to know in order to answer that question correctly. All right, guys, so I'm going to walk you through the 3 different ways that we teach and show and test ordering numbers in the classroom. So I'm going to start with the random number question. We give the children a set of random numbers, and then we ask them to compare it or order it in a certain way. So this one, we're going to order it least to greatest. So that means the least or the littlest number needs to be on the first line, and the greatest number needs to be on the last line, and the ones in between need to go in order. So just like comparing, we're going to look at those tens places, and the vocabulary word least means littlest or smallest. So I know that 30 is the smallest, so 35 is our least number. Now we need to do the next least number, so it's going to be 40 because the other ones are 50. So 41 goes on the next line. Now we have two 50s. So if you watched my comparing numbers video, you know that we have to go over to the ones place. So I have 58 and 53. 53 is smaller than 58, so it goes next, which means that 58 is our greatest number. This would be a correct answer for this type of question. Now we have random numbers, and we're asking them to put it on an open number line. The child has to know that an open number line always goes from least to greatest. They have to know that in their brain. It's not going to say it in the question. And so we're going to do the same where we compare the tens places first, and then we can place our first landmark number. So I've got 30s, a 40, and a 60. So I need to compare the 30s. So it's 33 versus 39. I know that 33 is less, so I'm going to put that as my first landmark number. And now I'm going to put the next landmark number, which is the greatest. So I need to put 67, because 60 is the biggest, as my second landmark number. So now I have the two end marks, and I need to fill in the two numbers in between. So 39 is really, really, really close to 33, so I'm going to put that tick mark pretty close to 33. And 44 is closer to the number 39 than it would be 67. The last type of problem would be embedded in a word problem. And so this is a little different because the student needs to be able to read the problem independently. They need to be able to extract the numbers, and then they need to put the skill of ordering on those lines. So in this problem, it says greatest to least. So I teach my kids to circle all the important numbers. So I'm going to circle those. And it's even helpful to write them down in just the order they are in the problem so that it resembles the first type of problem we did where it's just some random numbers given in order. Now notice this one has a hundreds place. That doesn't change the skill of ordering. This time we need to start with the greatest number. So let's look at those hundreds places. We've got 400, 300, 300, and 500. So 544 is going to go on the first line. The next biggest number is 456. It goes on the next line. Now we have 300 and 300. So I've got 320 and 390. So 90 is bigger than 20. So it goes on the next line, meaning that 322 is the least number from this word problem. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and maybe it'll help other parents help their children with their math homework. We'll see you next time.